My absolute favorite aspect of video games, aside from the gameplay, has always been the music. Great music can take an average game and turn it into a must-play. To be a classic, great graphics and gameplay isn't enough. It needs to pull you in with a great tune or soundtrack that you'll forever associate with that game. And I've been wanting to do a music-centric episode for a while now. So when I saw a couple of channels that I really enjoy post up their 30-day video game music challenge, I knew I wanted to throw in with my picks. So get ready to laugh, cry, and get pumped up with some of the greatest music in the history of gaming. Day 1, best intro music. And there's no game that still gives me goosebumps to this day like Ys Book 1 and 2. I still consider the intro to be one of the greatest of all time. After a beautiful, fully voiced story section, the music slowly builds into the title screen as the goddess appears, and it crescendos into what I can only describe as something straight out of the Dark Crystal. Day 2, best opening level music, and man, this one was tough. I seriously debated going with Journey to Silius on the NES, but in the end, I had to go with my gut and choose Legendary Axe 2 on the TurboGrafx. And it's the build-up that really brings it home. It starts with you losing a duel to your brother, knocked off the cliff, battered and bruised. The whistle of your sword echoes in the air as it slams into the ground next to you. You pick yourself up to a melancholy tune, rise defiantly. Then out of nowhere, the music just explodes into this ballad that says, "I'm coming for you, motherfucker." Day 3, 8-bit music. And when I think 8-bit, I'm talking NES, Sega Master System days. And God, did those games have some amazing chiptunes, right? You could pick like 30 different games and still not even be halfway through. So I went with a Sunsoft game, a company renowned for their incredible music. And I picked one that when I play, I just can't get the tune out of my head for the rest of the day. And after this, neither will you. Day 4, console exclusive. And come on guys, Rondo of Blood, the GOAT. Sure, it was eventually ported to other systems, but for over a decade, this was PC Engine exclusive. And it is so good, top to bottom, that I had to get the vinyl. Day 5, majestic overworld themes. And I really tried to stay away from Final Fantasy on this one because it's so easy, right? But you'd be hard-pressed to find any overworld theme that comes close to Terra's theme from Final Fantasy 3-6. Day 6, relaxing music. And here's a pick that nobody else will do. We all know Nexer on the PC Engine, one of the greatest shooter soundtracks ever. That level 1 music is absolutely sublime, but it's certainly not relaxing. But have you beaten Nexer? Because if you have, and as you're coming down from the ordeal, the ending sequence serenades you with a remix of that music that is both soothing and just what you needed after tearing through the hordes of spaceships. Day 7, an independent game, and most of you have probably never heard of or played a game called Stormwind, released on the Dreamcast long after its death. It's a game that surprised me and blew me away when I actually got a chance to play it. A really cool shooter with an amazing soundtrack that once you hear, you may want to check out yourself. Day 8, best shooter music. Come on. I've always said that a shooter is only half a game without killer music. Gate of Thunder, Lords of Thunder, Nexer. I mean, I could do a whole episode on it. But really, what it comes down to is Soldier Blade. This game competes with the big boys, with the CD systems, and this is on a Hue card. This is a chiptune. Day 9, a licensed game. Does Mike Tyson's Punch-Out count as licensed, or is it more of endorsed? who cares? The bike training sequence in this game will have you itching for a whole nother round of ass kicking. But when you get to Iron Mike, keep an eye on those ears. Day 10, RPG battle music. And for me, RPG themes usually come back to Ys. But this time, I'm going to go with Ys 3. In my opinion, Ys 3 had the best music of the whole series. And that's saying something. But I was never a fan of the switch over to side-scrolling for the actual gameplay. Well, in 2005, Falcom righted that wrong by re-releasing it on PC in a traditional overhead view. And I loved it. Day 11, music from a puzzle game. Now I'll admit, I've always been rubbish at a lot of these games. Bomberman, Tetris, I'm just not very good. But there's one game I very much enjoyed back on the NES days, so this one is from my buddy Bobbus, and that's Bubble Bobble. Day 12, the saddest music. Easy pick, I couldn't have gone with anything else. I'm not even going to tell you what it is. I'm just going to hit you with it. Go ahead, take your time. Wipe your eyes before I move on. Day 13, music from a game that I didn't like. And this is really painful for me because I'm a huge Macross and Robotech fan. There's some great Macross games out there like the one on Super Famicom, but Robotech Battle Cry is not one of them. The intro though, Day 14, best vocals.
Yeah. Day after day, your life's a wreck. The powers that be just bring down your neck. You get no respect, you get no relief. You gotta speak up and yell out your grief. So back up your rules, back up the job, 'cause I'm sick of not living to stay alive. Leave me alone, I feel like I don't wanna be controlled. It's all I want, it's all I want, it's all I want, it's all I want.
Day 15, boss battle music, and we just did this one last week by the same composer who did the awesome tunes from Lords of Thunder, and that's Sapphire, PC Engine. Day 16, 16-bit music, another one that could go 50 different directions. For me, I'm gonna pick something that top to bottom, intro, title, level after level, the bosses, everything about it screams sound of 16-bit. And that is Revenge of Shinobi. Day 17, music that you'll never get tired of. And for me, that goes with a game that I'll never get tired of. Anyone who knows me knows that I love the Ninja Gaiden series. It's my favorite NES series of all time. So much so that I even made a killer video on it a while back, a few months ago, that you should definitely check out if you're a fan of the game. And level 4-2, oh, and by the way, Nintendo, if you want another bona fide hit on your hands, next Smash Bros. DLC character, Ryu Hayabusa, and use that music on his stage. Dunsky! Day 18, the year you were born. That would be telling. Next! Day 19, cover of music by a different artist. Wipeout XL. Firestata! Day 20, a racing game. Now, I enjoy a fun arcade racer as much as the next person, but way back in the day, I used to do some amateur road racing, so my preference has always been for more accurate racing sims. And there's no greater franchise than Gran Turismo, and you guessed it, Moon Over Castle. Day 21, music from a game that you associate with frustration. I still have nightmares about this, playing and beating this game as a kid. Never again. And that's Ghosts and Goblins on the NES. Day 22, Town Music, Simon's Quest. Some of the best 8-bit tunes of any game, and the Town Music was no exception. Day 23, an underrated game. This one goes out to my bud Peasy. The coolest shooter on the Super Nintendo that they couldn't even bother to put on the SNES Classic. And I'm talking about Axelay. Day 24, music that's constantly stuck in your head. That would be telling. Day 25, music that gets you pumped. And that's the intro from Thunder Force 4, Mega Drive. Day 26, a game that I haven't played. Now, if I've never played it, how would I know exactly if I love the music? More importantly, if I then went and recorded footage for this video, wouldn't that then mean I've played it? That doesn't make any sense. Next! Day 27, a handheld game. And I'm gonna cheat on this one because I really never played a ton of handheld, especially when I was younger. But I did always have my trusty old Turbo Express. I know it plays regular turbo games. And if there's one game that encapsulates playing on the road for me, it's the greatest pinball game of all time. And that's Devil's Crush. Day 28, most nostalgic. As a kid, our group of friends were always hitting up all the local 7-Elevens, and it wasn't for the Slurpees. Well, maybe also for the Slurpees, but it was mainly because every single one, down to a T, had a Street Fighter II arcade cabinet with a line of kids, quarter on glass, waiting for next. So nothing encapsulates those days of running the streets with my friends than Ken's stage from Street Fighter II.
Round one, fight!
Day 29, final boss music. Okay, you're probably gonna hate me for this, but it has to be done. If you're into RPGs, or shooters, or platformers, or just about a host of anything in between, this game has got you covered. It has nothing that you asked for, and yet everything you need. And that includes some of the most infectious boss music that you're likely to hear, all to some intense dodging, platforming, and conversationalizing. Ladies and gents, Undertale. Day 30, end credits music. And just like bookends, we started with these and we're gonna end with these. Most people have never heard the end credits to this game, and that's too bad because it's brilliant. You're still here. It's over. Don't you have a cat video to watch or something? You can go. Go.